Hello everyone, in this video I'll share with you the tier list of what I consider to be the best commanders for open field wars. Stick around until the end of the video to get the final tier list and hearing the explanations of why I ranked each commander the way I did. If you enjoy the content, please drop a like and subscribe as it will help me a lot. With that said, let's get right to it. So, to start with, we'll go for the SS tier heroes, which for me there's a clear winner that stands out from everyone else, and that would be Lilia. In my opinion, Lily is simply the best commander in the game right now, because she provides insane value to any war really, because she has area of effect damage, and she also deals the highest skill damage in the game. So her base damage is 1200 skill damage with her first skill, and then she has another 50% chance of scorching the target. What this means is that the Scorch deals another 1000 skill damage over 5 seconds, which means that in total it's 1200 plus 1000 skill damage, which is 2200 skill damage total if the 50% procs. Therefore, there's simply no way that any other commander can deal the same amount of damage that Lilia does, and the fact that this can be done to many targets at the same time, she's just unbeatable in open field really. That said, in my personal opinion, she's the only SS tier right now because she just stands out from everyone else. Afterwards, we move into the S tiers, which for me there's another two commanders that stand out from everyone else. And something I forgot to mention is that these tiers are considering that all of them are maxed. So if they're not maxed, this would change, but I'm considering that all the commanders on this list will be maxed. Therefore, we'll go with Thea or Tia, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. So, in my opinion, Thea is simply super strong, almost as good as Lilia. However, there's one thing that I don't like about Thea, is that the reason why mages are the meta for open field fights is because of the area of effect damage. And Thea is a support champion, so she deals no area of effect damage at all, and instead she shields her allies, which is good, like it's definitely good, but it kind of defeats the purpose of going with the DPS marches to, splash damage on the enemies. But it's also always good to have a few Tias in your army, so you can have all your allies tank a little bit more and get better traits. So, in my opinion, when she's maxed, she is super good and always good to have. Afterwards, I would say Kinara. Kinara is another really good one, simply because she stands out from everyone else as well. She's a super strong archer commander, and she clearly stands out from Nico as well. And she deals insane counterattack damage, which archers are already known for having insane counterattack damage, and she further improves that, while also dealing insane damage, and she goes really well with Nico, because Nico will apply defense break, which will also make Kinara deal even extra damage. Overall, Kinara stands out from everyone else for now, at least until we get more heroes, and she's definitely a good main focus for any archer players. Afterwards, I would say we go for the A tiers, which in my opinion are not as good as Lilia, Thea, or Kinara, and that would be Madeline. Madeline is insane, she's a really good open field tanker, she's good for garrison, she's really versatile because you can even use her with archers, because she increases the physical damage. So overall, Madeline is absolutely great. She can be used for, pretty much everything. She can be used as a good deputy, she can be used as a primary tank, she can be used for garrison primary, she can be used, literally for almost everything. So she's really good in general. Afterwards, I'll have to say Bakshir. He's a good cavalry. I feel like cavalry is kinda weak in the game, but Bakshir actually makes cavalry quite tanky and deals good damage, so I do think he's worth A tier. Afterwards we have Husk. Husk is a support champion and Raleigh meta, and I think he just goes well with pretty much everyone again, simply because everything he provides is just good for everyone in general. However, I do feel like he's fading recently, otherwise I would have ranked him S if Kinara and Thea didn't exist. But with the addition of the new heroes, I think he's fading a little bit more from the meta for open field. Nonetheless, he's still worth an A tier. Nico. Nico is another good one. Again, I don't think he's anywhere near as good as Kinara, probably because of his second skill, which is engineering, I guess. But overall, Nico is good. He's pretty damn good. He's good for rallying, he's good for open field, and he's good for, well, pairing with pretty much any other archer commander. He'll provide defense break, decent counterattack, and he'll proc the talent buffs because of his, well, his fourth skill essentially. Next we have Nika. I actually would rate Nika lower than Madeline, but I still do think that she's worth the A tier. Mostly because she can be used in the open field due to her counterattack damage, which is great, which is, well, it's basically the main way that infantry marches deal damage, right? It's through counterattack, so she's pretty good for that. She deals decent damage if she catches up to people, and she's also garrison meta, so that's good. Overall, she's definitely worth the A tier. Other than that, we have Velen. Velen is also really good, simply because mages are just meta, and he does exactly what you want from a mage, which is area of effect damage. And Velen deals 1200 damage with his skill, up to 1600 I believe, if the target is already frozen. So pairing Velen with maybe Walder, like Walder then Velen as deputy, would be really good, so you can get the maximum damage possible from his kit. Overall, Velen is really good, but I do not think he's as good as Thea, or as Kinara, or as Lilia. Although I would still rate him above, well, above everyone else in the A tier for open field. For B tier, we have, I would say, Emrys. Emrys I consider way weaker than anyone else in the A and the S and the SS tier, mostly because Emrys is super squishy. Cavalry is super squishy in the game, and yeah, they are super fast, and he does hit hard, but in a big field war, if you don't have Bakshir, your Emrys is just gonna get destroyed. There's no way you'll be able to use Emrys in a big fight without getting destroyed instantly. It'll just be bad trades after bad trades. So Emrys, I feel like it's okay if you pair him with Bakshir, definitely decent for open field, but without Bakshir, he really can't do much without him, simply because it's just gonna be way too squishy. Then we have, I would say, Walder. Walder is really good as an epic commander because, again, it does what you want from a mage march, which is dealing damage in an area with area of effect damage, and he deals 600 I believe, or 700 when maxed, and he goes really well with Velen because Velen when maxed will deal plus 400 skill damage if the target is already frozen, which Walder does apply. So it's a really good pair. And Walder also has skill talent tree, which allows you to pick the talent that makes your deputy commander deal 8% more damage. So you can literally pair Walder with any other mage commander with high damage as deputy, and your deputy commander will deal 8% more damage. So overall, Walder is just good, and probably the best epic commander for PvP. Then we have Guanwen. Although I don't think Guanwen is as good as Walder for open field, she's still worth the B tier simply because she's just a great commander. She used to be rally meta, even against all the other legendaries, and she's still an archer, and as an archer she still deals really good damage and good counterattack. So I do think she's worth the B tier. Other than that, we have just everyone else as C tiers, simply because they just don't shine as much as everyone else, pretty much. And you might be wondering, how is Garwood on a C tier? Well, Garwood is just very, very bad, to be honest. Like, there's no point going over Garwood. He's just really bad. He's a garrison champion that can't even garrison properly because the trades are so bad. He's the worst version of Richard. So yeah, he's definitely a C tier. Everyone else, well, it's just farming commanders. And that's it. This is my tier list for open field fights. So let me know if you agree, if you don't agree, and let me know in the comments. See ya.